Welcome to Nothing But Nets. We're back. We are back. It's good to be back. Got a good one for you today. Uh, it's going to be interesting to see what the Nets do with Ben Simmons now. Ben Simmons, we're just coming off the win over in Sacramento. Ben Simmons had another blistering performance against this Sacramento Kings, where he puts up 4 points, 5 assists, and 3 rebounds. He is entirely useless to this team. He's not a point guard. He's not a big. He played 27 minutes, took 3 shots, took 0 free throws, got 2 rebounds. He's 6'10". He gets 3 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 points. He serves no function on this team. He's no longer an NBA player. We saw the previous game against Philly where he can't lay in the ball, he can't dunk the ball. He's no longer a top-notch defender. I say all this to say it's time to buy him out of this contract, give that roster spot to someone else. He can't have a spot on this roster anymore. He hasn't earned it. He hasn't deserved it. He's either too injured to play. He's shot. I don't know what his problem is, but he's no longer an NBA player. We're not that early into the season where all of a sudden he's going to get better. I have a solution here. We have a guy in the G League, Amari Bailey, who needs to get called up. Amari Bailey, I've done a video on him, so check for that. He's averaging 16 points a game in 24 minutes in the G League. 47 shooting splits. High level athlete, explosive, above the rim combo guard, can play the one or the two. 6'4, 6'5, 6'7 wingspan. Like I said, highly athletic, can run the court, can finish, and he's shooting 47% from three this year, which means I've said in that video, if he could ever just hit corner three, he becomes a legitimate guy that can average 15 points per game in the NBA. 6'4, 190, sweet southpaw stroke, super athlete, quick fighter, quick fighter. I got boxing in my head. Quick first step, explosive. He can get past the rim. He can score in all three. This is a real guy. This is a guy with NBA skills, an NBA athleticism. He just needs a shot. Had he gone back to UCLA for his sophomore year, it was widely considered that he'd be a lottery pick in this draft, this 2024 draft, which means he'd be a lottery in this draft. So the Nets are sitting on a lottery pick. He's definitely a lottery talent. I know he's got personal issues, off the court issues. His mom's a bit of a nutcase. I know he wanted to go to the NBA early and then forego his last 3 years of college to dunk on John Morant and all this crazy stuff. I understand all the background that goes along with him. He's an NBA player, and he needs to get that NBA opportunity. I want to get into why Killian Hayes, and like if you want to call up Killian Hayes, I don't hate Killian Hayes as much as everybody does, but he's still not shooting the three ball. He's shooting at 21% or something like that, shooting at well under 30% in the G League. Killian Hayes can handle the ball and he can defend his position. He can defend the two guard too. He's so bad offensively, and I'm going to get into a similar thing with Killian Hayes that you could with Ben Simmons. You can basically play 5-on-4. Defensively, you're 5 on their 4. You don't have to pick Killian Hayes up until he's a few feet from the basket. He's a backup point guard. That's all he is. He's not a starting point guard in the NBA. It's very limited upside. This is a developmental season for the Nets. If I said to you, who has a higher potential upside, Killian Hayes or Amari Bailey, it is obviously Amari Bailey. Bailey is a top-notch athlete who can score, who can defend, who can handle the rock. He can check all the boxes. He can give you a little bit of everything. He rebounds his position well because he is such a high-level athlete. He's averaging 16 points a game in 24 minutes, 47 shooting splits, 4 rebounds, 3 assists in 24 minutes. He's tearing up the G League. He's too good to be in the G League. You say you want to get him in the G League to get him these minutes, and then when he's in the G League, knock is, well, it's the G League. Well, like, what do you want him to do? He's dominating the league. What do you want him to do? Not dominate the league like Killian Hayes? He's the player that should have gotten the roster spot. He didn't. Let's make the Nets need guards. They need ones. They need twos. They need backups. They need depth. He's that guy. Ben Simmons is not a 1. He's not a 5. He's not a 4. He's definitely not a 2 or a 3. He no longer has a spot on this roster. He can't score in the paint. He's developed nothing. He doesn't respond. Jordy says he wants him taking 10 shots a game. He played 27 minutes, took 3 shots, didn't get to the free throw line. He's obviously afraid to get fouled. He gets the yips when he has to lay the ball in. We're seeing this over and over again. He just gets worse, and he's not coachable. He's not doing what he's asked to do, and he's not getting better. He hasn't developed anything offensively. He still has no post game. He still has no mid-range game. He still has no jump shot. There's just not much that he offers you at this point. And I was all for giving him an opportunity. He's gotten that opportunity. It's not working. It's not working at all. He's a shot player. He's not even a great defensive player anymore. There's just not much that he offers you on either side. He gets eaten up all the time. There's just not that much that he offers you offensively or defensively anymore to warrant him being, and he's not a part of long-term plans. I've heard rumors and discussion that you can bring him back next year on a vet minimum. I don't want that. I don't want him on the roster for the rest of the year. He adds no value. There's no spot for him. Let's give that spot to an Amari Bailey guy, 6'4", 6'7" wingspan, combo guard, can defend multiple positions, can play multiple positions, can score, can pass, can run the point, can handle the ball, can check all the boxes. He's just a guy that you want. And I said this in my video before the season started. I said, this is a guy that needs to have a roster spot, and he needs to get minutes. He didn't get the roster spot. He's in the G League. He's tearing up the G League. It's time to move him up now. And look, you guys who listen to this, I have this affinity for Amari Bailey, and I think there's reasons for this. He just hasn't gotten an opportunity. He played 65 career NBA minutes, and at UCLA he played 1 year, and it wasn't until the tournament and the end of that regular season where he really started to come to his own. He should have went back to college for another year. He decided not to. In retrospect, that was probably a bad decision. He probably should have went back and developed more. But we can develop him here. He's a good player. He's a tremendous athlete with tremendous skills. He can be a contributing part of this team. And I'm either going to be right, or I'm either going to look like a genius or look like an idiot here. But Killian Hayes is the guy I think they want to call, but he's not. There's no upside to Killian Hayes. He is what he is, which is a backup point guard who can give you a couple minutes a game off the bench. That's it. What's the point? What's the point of having that here? I don't see any point in having that on this roster at this stage. It just doesn't offer us anything. There's no developing him into the next level player. It's just he's going to be here. It's like when Marks and Kenny Atkinson developed guys like Dinwiddie and Joe Harris and those guys. There were steps they could take. There was improvements. There was ceiling. There's no ceiling to Killian Hayes. His ceiling is his basement. It's a backup point guard. For Bailey, there's that upside. He can be, I don't want to say he can be a star in this league, but he can be a legitimate role player. He could probably be a starter in this league. He could definitely be a rotational guy. Let me know what you guys think. Like I said, 16 points a game, 47 shooting splits, 4 rebounds, 3 assists in 25 minutes. Plays a complete game, offers you a little bit of everything. Guys, take a look at Amari Bailey if you haven't. This is a guy that needs to be on the roster. Please like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. Smash the like button, guys. Follow me on all forms of social media at 3D Boxing. It is November 25th. We just finished out the I'm losing my brain. We just finished out the win over the Kings. So kudos to Coach Jordy for getting that win. But it's time to get Amari Bailey up on this roster and get Ben Simmons off the roster. Ben Simmons is no longer an NBA player. It's one of the worst trades in history. It's one of the worst contracts. It's the worst contract in the history of basketball. It's time to be done with it. If you can buy him out, if you can save $2 million, just do it. Let's get Bailey on the roster. From Texas to the world, thank you. And God bless.
Don't miss a tweet, post, story, or video. 3D Boxing is on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Hit the subscribe button now to stay inside the ring.